Welcome to this rather belated look at LAWFOLDS, Aberdeenshire. With me, MrSealyp. This is LAWFOLDS, Aberdeenshire, or Aberdeenshire, depending how you say it. This is not a new mod map, it's been out a while. This was originally made by Stussy and was converted over by CMMODZ. 204.32 megabytes download on PlayStation 4/5. It's set in Grampian in Scotland, based on a real farm, and this was on FS19. Now, I didn't do the map tour when it first came out because I was on holiday, and then when I came back from holiday, I kind of looked at it as because I did a let's play on this map on FS17, and I really liked it. And I'm always a little bit torn when a map gets converted over. When you come on to do the whole, is it exactly the same? In which case, there's a nostalgia element to it. But if you're new to the game, it's a new map. Or do you come on and loads has been changed, which could be for the better, or you could come away thinking, I'm not really liking the changes. So it was almost that kind of, I didn't want it to be spoiled. I know it sounds ridiculous. A load of people have asked me, are you going to do a map tour? I know it's been a long time, but can you, will you? So here it is. I'm going to do the map tour. I know it came out a long time ago. But anyway, let's crack on. So this is the main farm. This is where we start at LAWFOLDS farm. On FS17, that hill just over there was Gold Nugget Hill. When you had the Gold Nugget searches, that entire hill had, I think, pretty much all the gold nuggets you needed to find were all up on that hilltop. No gold nuggets on FS19. I've had a quick quiz round just to re-familiarise myself, and in all honesty, not much has changed. Again, I don't know if it's because of the amount of maps that have been out since this came out on FS17. It feels really small, and at the time when I played this on FS17 it didn't. A few things have changed, more aesthetic, a few little design things, but for the most part everything's where it was. Everything feels and looks the same. Start equipment's different, obviously textures on FS19 are a bit different, the lighting is a little bit different, those kind of things. So, on the map, here it is. Most of the fields are north, south, east, west. We've got a few that have got a few odd shapes to them, but for the most part, not too bad at all. This map does have hedge and fence collisions on. I know a lot of people don't like that, and I know some of the lanes are quite narrow and tight. For bigger machinery, it's a little bit trickier to move things around. I'm doing this on New Farmer, on Normal Economy. On New Farmer, we start with the main farm here at LAWFOLDS, which has the pig pen on it. Field 31, 30, 28, 29, and we do start with field 39 down the bottom. There are two other farms on this map. We have East Law, which is over here. That's a sheep farm, and the chickens are there. They're not showing up at the moment because you need to own the land for those to pop up for you to be able to see them. The other one is over here, which is the cow farm, and this is Newton of Lewisk. And that's the same. Once you buy that plot of land, which I think on this one is 91,000, if we click on that, yeah, 91,137. When you buy that plot, the icon will come up for the cows and you own that plot of land. For East Law, over this side, it's 328,080, and you get this plot with the hill on it as well. And the sheep will appear, triggers about there, and then you've got a chicken one, which is just there too. So you will need to own those before those icons will come up. When we go and have a look around those farms, I'll tell you how many, of each of the animals you actually start with. Most of the sell points are clustered here at the main area, but there are a couple dotted in other locations. Biogas plant on New Farmer is already owned. It's already there. The biogas plant will take regular crop types and wood chips. So if we scroll across, we've got a price there for wood chip, which is always nice. Now it does say in the mod hub that this pays out, it's got higher prices. Now on the original version of this, the prices were off the charts. I recall doing silage at the biogas plant and getting paid over 2,000 for 1,000 litres. So the prices aren't as bonkers as they were originally. Anyway, so as we move around the farm, we are heading south. The farm is located, the main farm you start with is located just sort of south of Central pretty much. Main farmhouse is here. Contracts are available on this map. There are no additional crop types on this map. It's all the standard crop types. As far as the sleep trigger goes, when we click on here and go back to the map, there's not one. Where are we? There's not one here at the main farm or at the other two farms when you get them. However, if we go into this menu and go across to placeables, under farmhouses, there is a sleep trigger available for 1000, which is nice because it does mean that you can decide where you're going to start on this map and you can place your sleep trigger wherever you want to start. So you don't actually start with one, but there is one available for you to place wherever you decide to place it. The only other mod that I could find that the map maker has put in was under, was it miscellaneous? I think it was workshop triggers. Yeah, so we've got vehicle workshop triggers modded that have been put into place. Other than that, there's no modded silos or anything like that. It'll just be anything you want to use from the mods hub. So, I'll have a quick whiz around the main yard. As you saw, we've got a few vehicles and bits of machinery dotted around. We'll have a look at those in just a second and what that means for slot count on console. The workshop trigger here at this farm is in through here. It's one of the things that LAWFOLDS was a little bit tricky for, was the fact that it was a very narrow entrance and you couldn't get big machinery in here to be repaired. I don't know if it will work from this side, but there is lighting all around the buildings. Nice, neat and tidy. We do have racking all over the place, so we've got pallet racking has been provided, so if you prefer to have your stuff in pallets then put it away to be used, you can. What you do also have, two of the three farms here and Newton of Lewisk, we've got refill stations. So if your fertilizer, liquid fertilizer and seed, although they're not labelled as such, they haven't got the pictures on them, we've got refill points just here and there's a fuel point there. And we go right around the other side. We are going to use the pickup to go around. More barn and building space. It's funny how, like I say, all these kind of, because I've played on it before, those memories flood back, and it is that nostalgia thing of, wow, you know, I was thinking of all the things I did, and I think when I finished on here, I was finishing on a massive silage harvest. I think I was running 3 harvesters, and you know, I thoroughly enjoyed playing this one. Silo is here, one of 3 available. Or I say available, that you start with. 200,000 litre capacity. I think they hold all the main crop types. I want to say potatoes and wood chips as well. 200,000 litre, and there's another one, like I say, over at Newton of Lewisk. And then we have got a storage facility, which we're going to go and have a look at in a little while too. We're going to grab the pickup, which is a bit of a state at the moment, but it's well used, let's just put it that way. Going to head south and we're going to do an anti-clockwise route round, I think, today. So the pigs that are here at the main farm, slurry point's just there. Our point for buying, selling, loading or unloading is just here, and the pigs will hold, how many was it? 300 pigs this will hold. And strangely, and I don't know, yeah, like I say, I don't know if it's because of all the maps that have come out that I've reviewed and I've played on since. This feels far more open than I remember it being, but far smaller, if that makes sense. The landscape itself just seems very open. I don't know if the trees have been removed or anything. As I'm going around, I'm thinking, I don't think they have. But then driving around the map just felt small. I don't, it's very odd. Anyway, so bedding, feed and water troughs are just here for the pigs, and we're going to head south. Now, one of the things that I know people weren't overly enthused with on the original version, and this will be the same on this version, is the amount of gates everywhere. And it was one of those things that I found when I played it originally. Every turn you make, there are a set of gates, but you know, you don't want livestock straying. You don't want to have people just wandering onto your land, do you? So we're down the southern part of the map now. Field 39 we own when we start a new farmer, and we're going to head across towards East Law. Now, as far as what we own, actually, now's probably a good time to do that. Let's go in and go to garage. So on new farmer, we've used 377 out of 1,299 slots, which is pretty low. We do start with the New Holland T5100, a Fendt Fabric 511C, a Massey Ferguson 7719, Massey Ferguson Activa 7347 Harvester. We've got a New Holland C232 skid steer loader. The pickup, we've got an AgroLiner TKD trailer. Header for the harvester. We've got a plough, a seeder, we've got a fertiliser and lime spreader, we've got a header trailer. That's it. If you come onto this on Farm Manager, or start from scratch, it's exactly the same. 377 slots used out of 1299. You start with all the same equipment. The only difference on Farm Manager and start from scratch is you don't own any land at the start. If you sell all of that equipment, if you decide you're going to get rid of it all and do a complete, either your own setup or a complete start from scratch sort of scenario, you can get it down to 250. Now that may vary if you're on Xbox slightly, and if you've got seasons enabled, and this map is seasons ready, if you've got seasons on, that may adjust slightly, but not by a huge amount. So yeah, 250 out of 1299 slots is amazing. That gives you so much room to play with. We have got a bit of forestry available around the map. I don't remember all of these drive areas being as wide. I don't know if they've been widened or whether it's just because the textures are different to how they were in 17. It really does have a different feel on the ground. Like I say, as far as the map goes, it feels the same-ish, but now that's weird because I thought seed refill was only available at 2 of the farms. Oh no, seed and fertiliser points on the farms. Yeah, so each farmer's got seed and fertiliser refill points and a fuel point. Workshop trigger is just here at East Law, but like I say, you do need to own East Law before the triggers will come up, because this is where the chickens are. The chicken pen will hold 100 chickens once you have them. This is your point for buying and selling, but I'm clicking L3 and nothing's coming up because I don't own the property. That's where your egg boxes will appear, and the feed trough is just inside. Now, the original one had a little gate. On FS19 it was that. You had to go around and pick up the eggs. You know, they were on the floor in the grass. You had to go around and find them. I honestly loved that as a feature. I thought it was brilliant. So like I say, we have a farmhouse here, but the farmhouse trigger is not placed. So if you wanted to start here at East Law, or you want to pick somewhere else entirely on the map, you absolutely can. These building stuff can't be sold though. These 3 main farms are fixed in place, but the slot count's pretty low anyway. More pallet racking. We do have an entrance way through here into the sheep pasture if you want. Feed trough is just through there. Water trough I think is a little bit further up, which we'll have a look at. A nod there to the people that helped test the map for CMMODZ. We do have water points. I've meant to point out the one at the main farm. It looks like that. We do have water points. The buy, sell, load or unload point for sheep is just here, but again, pressing L3, nothing will happen until I own the farm. And sheep we can have here at East Law 250. So 100 chickens, 250 sheep. Bit more barn space, and it runs around the sides here. Out into the pasture. Water trough is just there. So, from here, we're going to head out to some of the sell points. It's a nice map, and it, like I say, I mean, for me, it's that kind of nostalgia thing of having played on it. But if you're new to the game, in whichever form, whether you got it free as a download or you got it cheap, or you know, on PlayStation Store and PS Plus and those kind of things, you may not have encountered this map. I know with so many maps all dropping, and we have had a load of maps recently drop and have updates and be converted, it's often very difficult to tell which ones to go for, you know. These do seem wider. Those driveways do seem... I could just be imagining that. So, leaving East Law, out onto the main roads. Now we came out of the bottom part of LAWFOLDS farm, but if you're going to do it from the main road, which we're going to come out to the main road now, the entrance, the main driveway as such into LAWFOLDS is actually from here. So we go onto the map, like so. We've come down here, across the bottom out to East Law. And we come up here and we're at the main road here. That road there leads all the way along and back round to the main farm. There is this little bit across here which is now shown sort of with the road. On the original version it wasn't, and that was always my cut through. If I was going to the main sale points or coming back, I would open the gates this side of the fields and this side of the fields and cut straight across that. But there's now actually there is a track that leads across there. But we're going to head up here to the northeast corner to LAWFOLDS grain. Oh, sorry. Good reason to have to pick up because it's a little bit quicker than going with a tractor. Fields are fairly big. Field prices are pretty good. They're kind of all around sort of 200. I say all around. They start around the 200,000 mark. There aren't any much cheaper than that, and I think one of the more expensive ones is just over $1 million. But you do start with a few, so you have got a bit of leeway when you first get going. And you can get away with, I would say, small and medium. You probably will get away with some large machinery on here. It's just moving it around. The fields are big enough to use large machinery, but it's just your transportation. Like I say, some of the lanes are a little bit tighter, and because you've got collisions on the fences and hedges, you don't get much leeway. But, you know, again, that's your choice, what you decide. I often get people message me, say, on such and such a map, can I use large machinery, can I use medium machinery? You can use any machinery you like on any maps. It's just whether or not it's going to be, you know, how you are out moving machinery around. So, northeast corner, we are at LAWFOLDS grain, which is one of the sell points. Owned by farmers, run by farmers. We have an in and an out. The in is at the top end here. Sell point is just under there. That was always a little bit trickier, but I think it has been widened. Because if you came into here with a vehicle or a trailer that tipped and it lifted up, you'd hit the roof. So you had to kind of come over a little bit, but what I think, it does look like it's been widened. So if you've got one of those, you can come over more this side and you've got a bit more of an opening for unloading onto here. This one, if we go across one, LAWFOLDS grain, that one there, scroll across, is one of our main cereal crop sell points. There are three: Big Hill grain, LAWFOLDS grain, and Shire Group grain, which we're going to get to in a little while. Prices are pretty good. I mean, they're not, let's say, they are elevated a bit, but not hugely over the top. It's not going to be one of those maps where people are kind of like, well, it's a bit cheaty because you're getting ridiculous amounts of money for things. So we're going to head back where we just came, and then across the middle of the map, heading west to take in the bulk of the sell points, which are all in one location. Well, most are at one location. And take in a bit more of the lovely rolling hills of Grampian. I always have a list when I do a map tour. I write down the same things on every single one. It's a blank sheet, and I will always have all the different criteria and categories I want to look at. And one of those is features, and it's just things that stand out. In all honesty, because it's pretty much as it was on the original version, there's nothing majorly different that stands out. It's often things like sell points or prices, or a sell point that takes a crop that a map doesn't usually take, or anything for me that kind of stands out as an additional. But in all honesty, this is a decent map for just getting on and playing. Plenty of room here at the main selling point store area. We've got everything here. So we are at Shire Grain. I'll have a look at the map in a minute, see where we are. We've got the spinnery sell point is just here. We've got a buy point for slurry and manure just here, although the slurry bit, I don't know if there's supposed to be something there. I know that's being shown as manure, but we have got slurry buy point and manure buy point. Livestock market, is just here. So if you want to come and actually collect your animals and take them to your farm, you absolutely can. Animals trade. As we come across, we've got Shire Grain, which is the next of our main sell points. We've got the store, which is just here. So inside, we've got the workshop trigger. So for selling, customizing, repairing of vehicles is there. It says getting stuck on the wall. And our trigger there for the store menu is there. And we have got a bale sell point, which is just here. So there's our bale sell point. So quite a few sell points here. We've got a fuel point there as well. And if we come back to our map, so we came from LAWFOLDS Grain, back across the map, and we are now here. And I say they're all right on top of each other, but we've got quite a few of the points just there. From there, we're going to carry on west, and then go up to the northwest corner-ish of the map, where we've got the sawmill, biogas plant, Big Hill Grain, and we've got the storage facility, which we'll get onto in a little while. Then we'll head down and we'll do the last of the farms after that. I think it's because I know the map already. Often when I'm going around a new map and I don't know the routes, in my head I'm constantly, my mind's ticking away thinking, which way do I go, which turning do I take next? But because I know this map already, it's that kind of, my mind's now thinking, have you missed something? Is there something you should be looking at? I don't think so. I will overtake. Bit naughty, I know, but you know. So, Big Hill Grains is where we're at next. So this is the sawmill is here, right at the first part. Now, the sawmill is just for lumber here, because the biogas plant takes wood chips, and the sell point here, Big Hill Grains, also takes wood chips. So there's no point having a separate wood chip sell point at, I say there's no point, maybe there is, but there's not one at the sawmill. So the sawmill point there is just for lumber. This is Big Hill Grains, the third of our main sell points for our main crop types is just in here. And then around the back of here, we have got the storage facility. Now, it's a bit of an odd one. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, this is one of the main changes, I think, from the original. So this is Big Hill Grains, high capacity, low cost storage facility. Now on the original, and I don't know if it's the same on this one because I haven't put anything in here and I don't know as you tick through time, but on the original version, if you stored in here, you did get charged a little bit. I think it was every night at midnight. It wasn't per hour, I don't think, for storing crops there. And it was high capacity. I want to say it was something like 2 million litres. That's probably wrong. I know people are going to correct me now and they'll go away and check. But it was a massive capacity. So it gave you the option to bring stuff here, store loads and loads of stuff, but you had to pay a fee, like a co-op storage facility. So this one, I thought, oh, that's fantastic. This is only 200,000 litres. So it's the same capacity. I think all that's happened is it's just using the same silo engine files, I guess, as the regular silos. And that's why if we go on to have a look here, it tells us at the top that our silo's capacity is 600,000 litres. Because we've got a silo at LAWFOLDS Farm, we've got a silo at Newton of Lewis, which we haven't been to yet, and we've got the silo up here. Each one is 200,000 litres, which gives us a total of 600,000. So whilst it says high capacity, it is only 200,000 litre capacity here. I think it does hold some additional crop types, and I can't remember what now. Sorry, it's not. It doesn't. They're not multi-fruit silos. They don't hold everything. I think it might be potatoes and, I want to say sugar beet. One holds manure. It might be that one there as well. But it might be worth whizzing up and checking with the trailer, which I did, and I didn't write it down, so I apologise for that. But it is, like I say, it's not a multi-fruit silo. It will not hold everything. And the other ones won't either. They are pretty much main crop types with the addition of a couple of things. Actually, what we'll do, we'll go back to the main farm and we'll check on that when we go back later on. So biogas plant is just up here. And we have got the cell points into the digesters is just there. We've got 5 bunker silos, I think it is. 5 fairly large bunker silos just there. Now on the original one, this was where your digestate tank was. I'm going to say that's the digestate tank. There's nothing marked on the floor. However, as we go round over this side, there is a pipe on the tanks over here. So potentially this could be where you collect your digestate from, which looks more likely. But realistically, it's going to be one or the other. So it's not the end of the world if I've got it wrong. If that one's not it and that is, or that's not it and that is, it's not like you've got to travel halfway across the map to find the other one. They're both here at the biogas plant. So that's your biogas plant. If you don't own this, I'm just going to say, if you don't own this off the start, to buy the biogas plant is 362,496. If you come onto this on Farm Manager or start from scratch and you don't own the biogas plant, that's how much it will cost you to buy it, to be able to use it. So from here, we're going to head south. We've got a little sell point at there's a little housing estate. I say estate, it's 4 houses, but it's a little housing estate. And then we're going to head down to Newton of Lewis, which is the cow farm. Have I already said this season's ready? I have, haven't I? I'm sure I have. I don't think this has an update for has had an update for precision farming. So if you do precision farming on here, it'll be the standard Giants soil map, whatever it is they have in place. Up the hill, and just here we've got a sell point out of the housing estate, and this one at the housing estate is for eggs and milk. I think that's it here. Yeah, eggs and milk. From here, now, if I remember correctly, these open towards me. Yep. Leave myself a bit of space. Heading straight down. Now, as I mentioned before, most of the fields are north, south, east, west oriented, and whilst there are collisions on hedges and fences, there's a bit of a runoff around the side of each of the fields, which should be okay for workers. It's still probably not a bad idea to run a headland round or put headlands at either end, or whichever way you're going to go about doing it, to give yourself a bit of a buffer. And that's not to say that often with various different vehicles and machinery and combinations, sometimes the AI, sometimes the workers do have a bit of a fit and don't like it, but it shouldn't be too bad. No guarantees, unfortunately. So here we are at Newton of Lewis, which is the cow farm. Milk point is just there. Slurry and manure point is around the corner. Feed trigger, and I think bedding was in this one as well. Feed was at one end, bedding was at the other. We've got a bunker silo just here. And this map has had an update. It does say fixed dairy bunker and fixed and faulty textures, so it has had an update since it first came out. Water point just here. Fuel point, and we have got seed, fertilizer, and liquid fertilizer refill points. Now this one, I don't think has got a workshop. I didn't come across the workshop trigger when I'd looked around before. And it was literally just a quick whiz round, because I thought straight away, if it is the same as it was, I shouldn't have too much of a problem. Water trough is just there. And when you own the land, again, you need to own the land to be able to do anything. If I press L3 now, nothing will happen. So what I'll do very quickly, I borrowed some money. I didn't need to, I had enough anyway. 91,137, I've just bought the land. If I go over to the trigger now and press L3, I've got the option to buy my cows or deliver them if I want to. This will hold, what was it here? 200 cows this will hold. And that's the cow farm, in essence. I mean, the feed trigger's there, nice big open pasture. Water trough, feed trough and stuff down there. Plenty of barn and building space. Again, because there's no sleep trigger placed, if you want this to be your start farm, you can just place your sleep trigger here once you own the property. So I did wonder if you need to own the property before the workshop trigger comes up, but I can't find one. And there we go. This is the third of the silos. So the two silos at the farms, one at the main farm, one here, 200,000 litre capacity. No workshop trigger's not there. More pallet racking. Better check everywhere just in case. And there we go. So that's Newton of Lewisk. So what we'll do now is head around the bottom of the map, back up to the main farm at LAWFOLDS. I will grab the trailer and we'll check the silo there. I can't imagine that each of the silos would be different. That would be odd. We do have a few gates to go through to go across the back. Don't worry, I will come back later and close them all. I know there are those that do worry. I'll be honest, I don't like leaving them open, but it's a little bit quicker and easier if I can just whiz through. So we're heading east again. Back around. Yeah, maybe I'm misremembering. It just feels a lot more open than I recall. But it's probably just the same. This field down the bottom, as I recall, field 39. Is it 39 that we start with? Is huge. I remember mowing this and doing work on it, and it took ages. But if you want to do silage bales, you can get a huge amount off of here, or you used to be able to. So we're back onto the main track that we drove out of at the start, and we're heading back up now towards the pig pen and the main farm. I will grab the Massey and the trailer, I think. Now you don't have to use the seed and fertiliser refill points to rack the farms. If you find you start to use them and you find they're more expensive than you're happy with paying, you can buy pallets. There are plenty of mods available for seed and refill, fertiliser points and all sorts of stuff. And you may decide you want to place your own. Of course you can. So wheat, barley, oats, canola, sunflower, soybean, corn, wood chips, manure and back again. I could have sworn those held potatoes. Maybe I imagined it. And then we've got a water point just there. That's what I said I meant to point out on the way out. But that's the same on each of the farms. It looks just like that if you're looking for it. But again, there are placeable water refill points and standpipes and tanks and things all over the place. So that is LAWFOLDS. A very nice map, a nice conversion over. Again, I'm always very torn. I like the fact there's a nostalgia value to it. I think if you've played it before, you're coming on to do it for a nostalgia feel, it's great. If you're new to the game, it's a new map. In essence, it's new. It makes no difference because you've never played on it before. If you're not looking for a nostalgia feel and you want to come on here and you're hoping it's vastly different, the things have been added, and it's not. This is pretty much as it was, other than a few minor changes here and there. Yes, we've got the ability now to to sort of buy and sell plots and landscaping and place your own farms and all that kind of thing, which we didn't have on FS17. But in essence, the sort of start farm, what you actually get off the bat, is pretty much how it was. There you go. So I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.